I do want to take a minute and just recap a couple of the games just briefly, because there is one thing I do want to get to with the Hillcrest game. They were victorious yesterday as well, 8-0. It was no score, a defensive struggle throughout the game until about 3 minutes left to go in the game, and a passing attack for the Hillcrest Comets that wasn't all that effective throughout the game. They were, again, they're getting familiar with themselves and each other on this football team, but a little bit of a little screen pass was the big one for Hillcrest. Again, Brandon Moline just dumped it off to John Kildee. And Craig, I want to play the cassette of the touchdown, because I think Craig Olson is the lucky charm when it comes to Hillcrest and even Fergus Falls sports, because Craig, if you listen to who I was talking about just about 2 seconds before the play, you'll understand why. Hillcrest got a big touchdown from John Kildee, about 3 minutes left to go in the game. Let's hear it.
Back to pass, Moline looking to the near side. Now throws a screen pass. Kildee has room. And he has a first down and more midfield. Cuts it upfield. 45-yard line. Look out. This could be trouble. 40-yard line. He's got a blocker. 30-yard line. 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Hillcrest. The Comets have scored. It's a touchdown for John Kildee.
Well,
yeah, we hear. I don't know if you heard that on the phone line, Jeff, but I had to switch over quick like to air it, so we had it on the air there.
Okay, that's all I really wanted to know. But what I was talking about, and I'll tell Craig just briefly, was that all of a sudden I was talking about the CraigOlsonSports.com.
Oh,
and
okay.
I said, we'll get to that in just a second. And all of a sudden they dump the pass off, and Kildee goes the distance. And I tell you what, he had a lot of help from some blockers up front, there was no doubt. But he made a lot of that himself, as he made a nice move on the far side of the football field, cut it back across the field, got a couple of blocks. Jake Carr was up there. I know Nick Hansen was up there. Bill Nelson had a nice block up front and scooted. He almost had to run over Jake Carr because he couldn't get out of the way in time. And Kildee went into the end zone for the touchdown. They got the 2-point conversion to make it 8-0. But a big win, especially over Verndale. They have Verndale, Clinton, Graceville, and then Verndale coming up in the next 2 games. They've got to be on the road to 2 of the toughest opponents in the conference and the section, for that matter. And just a tremendous win for Coach Richard Risbrudt and his Hillcrest Lutheran Academy Comets team.
Anytime you can shut out a Mike Malin coach team, you're doing a good job, because Verndale through the years certainly has had as good a program as you're going to find in the state in 9-man football.
Well, their wishbone was working for them, and there was a certain point in the game where you thought that they might start taking over. You know, Verndale will pound at you until you just wear out. And Hillcrest kind of bent a little bit on defense, but all of a sudden they came up with a big stop. You know, you get a guy like Nick Hansen to come in there, or even a guy, Nate Stolt now, played really good defensive end yesterday for Hillcrest. And Nick, like I said, Nick Hansen, John Aronovic, even John Kildee in that secondary played well in stopping the run and shut down Verndale from that point on. And they did not have much of an offense after that. 80 yards rushing. They had 80 yards in the game, unofficial. And I think a good defensive job for Hillcrest. Again, some things to tweak on the offense, but this is a team where they've got 3 or 4 kids that didn't play on this team last year. So, again, they're unfamiliar with each other, but I think when this team finally gets, in full swing, they're going to be okay. They're going to be a fine football team. I was a little unsure after losing guys like Keller and Scheid and all of that, but I tell you what, these kids complement this team. The new kid's coming in, Bruns, so hopefully he's okay. He went out with an injury, and I didn't get a final report on that. It could have been something in the head, could have been a leg. I didn't know where they were looking quite, but hopefully he's fine. And just expect this team to really do well. They give a lot of different looks to opposing defenses, so I'm looking forward to this Comet season. Should be a good one. And could you ever have thunk, how many years has it been since Hillcrest has beaten Verndale 2 times in a row? It's got to be eons, right?
Well, it's never happened before, I don't think. And definitely a big win for us. I think it gave our guys a lot of confidence, beating one of the, we think one of the top, at least 3 or 4 teams in the state. They're certainly going to be near the top all season long. Very solid football team and program, and it's just a really credit to our guys to really hang in there. And especially in that 4th quarter, we were worried at halftime, thought that they would start pounding on us, but we had them down for 19 yards total offense in the second half, so it's very close to them.
Yeah, not much more than that, that's for sure, because it was right around there. My stats unofficial, but I only had them 80 total yards in the game, and I'm sure yours have got to be close to that. The official stats have got to be close to that. Defensively, again, they like to run some more. They were somewhat successful at a couple of drives out of that wishbone, but you took away what they like to do. Was that the defensive game plan going in?
Well, it certainly was. I think that was a big part of the game. Our defense really surprised us in how well they filled the holes and came up and just met the fullbacks come out of the backfield. Verndale has always been a tough running football team, and it was a lot of credit to our defensive line with Matt Moore in the middle and Nate Stoltno at defensive end. Jason Bruns played at the other end. John Ronovic came in and played, but our three linebackers did an excellent job. Johnny Kildee, what a football player. He took over in the fourth quarter and really won the game for us. It was a team effort, but boy, he really individually, we thought, really played a tough game. And along with Nick Hansen, plugging up the hole in the middle. And when any of their fullbacks came out of the backfield, our guys step up and just filled it. Very nice.
One thing I did notice, and Craig, we brought this up in the Fergus Falls interview, that conditioning was a big factor. Again, Verndale's thing is run, and wear you down. It didn't look like you guys wore it down at all, and actually it looked like you guys got more aggressive and even better as the game went on. Was that the case?
Well, that's the way it seemed. That was a concern that we were going to have. We ran a lot this past week. We in our scrimmage, one of the things that we thought that we needed to work on during the week was just more conditioning. Craig or Jeff, we started 2 or 3 days later than everybody else, and Verndale and other teams had 4, 5, 6 practices more than we had, and we were behind, so we want to get caught up. And so we did a little extra running the past week, and I think it really paid off for us in that fourth quarter.
Boy, first quarter, first half, nobody really got anything going. The offenses, again, kind of sputtered. It seemed like you had an opportunity down near the goal line, and there were 2 or 3 plays on the same drive that you had some offensive linemen or some people on that front line move. Is that a case of just first game unfamiliarity with each other right now? Are you guys still trying to become a cohesive team, or what was the cause?
Certainly part of it. We worked on a lot of fundamentals during the first few weeks, but I guess we didn't work enough on lining up in our. We worked a lot in our stance and the gaps, but I guess we should have, instead of standing in the backfield, we should have been looking down alongside the ball in the neutral zone, because we had about 6 offside penalties on us that we were down. I think we're on the 7-yard line at one time.
It was inside, actually, it was inside the 10, and there was a couple of back-to-back penalties, one in the neutral zone, and I think there was one that illegal motion that moved you guys out to the 17. It was second and goal or something at the 17-yard line or something.
We just shot ourselves in the foot there, and one of the things we definitely talked about at halftime.
Yeah.
We're not going to do that anymore, but that took us, it would have been nice to score at that point and punch it in there, but Verndale played tough defense, and plus we didn't come through on that. It's a mental mistake, but something we had to work on.
You got to credit Verndale, like you said, they played some pretty tough defense as well. Didn't really take everything away, but again, you found some room with John Kildee running the football, and a lot of it was really all him, wasn't it? I mean, he'd get past the initial hole, and boy, that kid would make some moves.
Our line did a good job, I think, not necessarily pushing him back, but turning and getting a close enough seam where Johnny could get through there, and then the rest he's on his own. Mm-hmm. We had him down for his longest one was 15 yards, but they were hard-earned yards all day yesterday, and it was just a matter of time, we think, before he was going to break it, and it came through on a pass there in that fourth quarter. But other than that, it was just a hard-hitting rock'em sock'em football game for 3.5 quarters.
It certainly was. As you went into halftime, no score. You come out in the second half, and again, that's when things got kind of interesting. I was talking to people in the press box saying it's going to take a couple of plays, big plays for either of these football teams to win. And it came down to just, a few. There were, of course, the Verndale touchdown that was called back because of a clip. There was an interception thrown by Brendan Moline that came back the other way. But every time it looked like Verndale was going to take over, even from the first half, they got that wishbone working. You guys found it within yourselves to come back. Do you like what you see so far of the ability of your team to just dig down deep and stop an offense, especially like Verndale?
Well, it's a good thing that it was good for us to see that early in the season. We know that if we can play this tough against a real tough Verndale team, that we're going to be in every game this year. And it's really a credit to our defense to really dig down and just come up and meet that hit and put it on. And we definitely like to see that.
2 plays in particular I want to try to focus on. I think it was late in the game. You guys kind of got pushed back a little bit towards midfield, and it was a 4th down situation. You guys were punting into their end. and trying to put them deep. They were coming at you. They were bringing everybody. John Kildee recognized this as a punter and got rid of that ball quickly. And I know I saw you jump up because it was a great punt, got over the return man's head and dribbled down inside the 10-yard line. Big play at that point. I think that was the one that really stuck Verndale.
They were coming, and I think that's just a credit to Johnny Kildee's athletic ability as well. He decided, here they come, I'm going to really punch this thing. And the ball just hit that was a 52-yard punt.
Yeah.
And went over Zach Hinkle's head, and he wasn't expecting to be that. The football was wet, it was heavy, and just a great play. A lot of credit to our line up front, too, to taking hold of them guys out, because they were sending everybody that time.
One touchdown in the game. John Kildee, again, he didn't do it alone, but he did a lot of it with his own running ability. Tell me about the play call. It was just a little screen pass off to the left side.
Well, we hadn't practiced it that much either. We work a lot on our traps and our crossbucks and counters, powers and sweeps and rollouts, but we decided to throw it. We knew they'd be blitzing one or possibly two linebackers, and so we figured we'd dump it off to the side, and boy, there was a great block on that play by our center, who came in, and we moved John Ronovic to guard. We put in Josiah Larson, only a sophomore, brought him in. He'd only played there a couple days, and he put a great block on one of their linebackers, Josh McGrain. And from there, it was all Kildee, and there were some good blocks downfield by our receivers. And, you could just see it. Is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? And he juked a couple more and broke another tackle and went in for the touchdown, and that was a really momentum builder for our guys.
When he reversed his field from the left to the right side and he had a couple of blockers out there, that's when I started to feel he's gone. I mean, because there was just nobody else that could catch him. At that point, the two-point conversion was good, and he went up 8-0. Again, it came down to some nail biting later on. But Bill Nelson, a couple of nice defensive plays in that game, had a couple of chances to pick off passes. He did have one interception and one near interception as well. I thought he played pretty well on both sides of the ball.
Yes, he did. He's got great speed. We want to throw him the ball. Our quarterback, we got a lot of credit to Brandon Moline. He hung in there. He took some hard hits when they were coming strong, and they were putting pressure on him. The ball was slippery, and oftentimes he didn't get a good throw on the ball that we'd like to have seen. But Billy is, definitely a top receiver for us. He caught a pass for 11 yards. On a little quick out, he basically got all 11 yards on his own there. But good defensive player. We put him back there at safety. He's got good speed. He can roam around. He sees the whole field, saw where the ball is going, and again, he had a great game back in the defensive backfield. Along as Jake Carr too, he really came up, and we were pleased with how he read the plays yesterday at defensive outside linebacker, and Brandon Moline, of course, on the other cornerback. Donnie Rogness started for the first time.
Yep.
And played a good game for us at cornerback on defense. And when they throw the ball 11 times and complete 2, one for 5 yards, the other one for -7, we have to be pleased with our pass defense.
There's no question there. I had them at 0 again on official passing yards, but -2 on the official side. Do we need to talk much about the ability of guys like Nick Hansen? And I was pleased. I'd never seen the kid play. Nate Stoltenow had a sack in the game, and I thought he played pretty aggressively at that end position.
Yes, he did. He took away the inside. We felt well. They got outside on us a few times, but when they come with that wishbone and they pull a guard, why there's 4 or 5 guys leading the blocking out front, and those aren't just average-sized football players either. Those are big-sized players coming around the end like that, and for him to fight that off and our corners to come up and stop it, well, I really credit that.
You could almost see the quarterback of Verndale look at Stoltenow come around the end, and he's got those big paws swatting at him going, oh goodness.
There he comes.
Ducked and ran and got sacked in the play. Let's see here. You went on, you won the game 8-0, and against 2 wins in a row against a fine Verndale football team. On the sidelines, there was some cramping. I know Bill Nelson was experiencing a lot of cramping there. I noticed Jason Bruns on the sideline. What was the situation with him?
Well, he had trouble with his ankle last few days. We taped it up, but he came out with a slight concussion.
Yeah,
so
that's what I thought.
Got checked out, and he didn't play anymore, and so we're hoping he'll be okay.
Good to hear, Craig.
Best thing about this whole matchup is we get to see it again in 2 weeks, Richard.
Yeah. Talk about tough schedules. I don't think anybody would want ours.
Well, and Verndale I was talking to Mike before the game in the press box, and he says he's got Chicago, Alberta next week, and then he's got Hillcrest again in the week after that at home, and he says Well, if we don't have a tough schedule, I mean, Hillcrest and Verndale have got to have two of the toughest schedules in the entire state, having to play each other like that twice early on. So, well, the stage is set for 2 weeks from now, and what do you expect maybe in a couple of weeks? Anything different from them or the same style?
I know they're going to be fired up.
Yeah, a little bit.
It'll be at their place. They'll probably move their homecoming up. That'll be that week. But that's the way you want it too. Coach would love to play a team where you know you're going to win and rack up the wins on the coaching side. But your team gets better by playing good competition, and there is a better competition in the state of Minnesota than playing Verndale 2 out of 3 weeks. And they're just a solid program, and this is the credit for us to go over there and do the best we can and see what happens this time.
One kid I didn't mention, and maybe just a second, Jake Carr is playing some defensive secondary, relaying into play as well with Bill Nelson. And I thought he played a real aggressive game, especially as a team captain. He showed some leadership out there.
Yes, he did. And when guys got questions, Jake has the answer and tells them where to go and who's going to pull and what hole we're going to and stuff like this. And he calls the defense. We every once in a while. And he comes up with a lot of suggestions that we appreciate as coaches and use them many times. And again, that just shows his leadership and his mental ability to. He'll be a coach like that.
I was just going to say, he sounds like a future coach to me.
Well, it's a great start for the Comets to be the Verndale squad like that. Now you can go into Clinton Graceville again, confident that you guys can play tough teams and come out victorious. Now on the road, though, how do you prepare for the Wolverines?
That's a good question. I know they lost some guys in the line last year. They lost Lewis Solomon in the backfield, but when he didn't play at the Fargo Dome section game last year, the other running back was a junior, and he was toughly nailed.
Well, didn't you go out with a collarbone or something like that injury? You broke a bone or something like that? Yeah.
Season or last season?
The last season at the Fargo Dome.
Healed up that.
Well, this is Solomon, right?
Solomon went out, but the reserve for Solomon was an excellent running back.
So and you won the game for the section championship, but still, they're always going to be tough. There's no easy game in this.
They played Minnesota last night.
Did they really? They win?
Yes, they did.
33-19.
That's right. Okay, we're going to wrap that up too when we come back as we go to the top of the hour. But Craig,
I was just going to say that I couldn't help thinking on the way back, given the events of yesterday for Hillcrest and Fergus Falls, about John Kildee and Tim Erickson, who have played sports together since they were knee-high to a grasshopper, as the old saying goes. I remember John Sr. and Tim's father, Dave, coaching those two boys in Dwarf League Baseball and Pony League Baseball, playing on the same basketball teams, and just a real close friends. And I think everybody kind of wondered, well, we knew John Kildee was going to go to Hillcrest Lutheran Academy, and there's no question there. But I think people always wondered, where's Tim Erickson going to go? Is he going to go to Hillcrest or Fergus Falls? And didn't he have a brother that went
to Hillcrest?
Older brother Matt. Yeah, and it's just interesting to see the directions they have gone and how they're both contributing where they are at right now, and certainly leaders on their team. And I think that's a couple of great young men, and fun to see them having some success already.
And what's even more, I think, special about that, they're very close friends, and their families support each other so well. The Ericksons are at our games.
Yeah.
And the Kildees take off and they go to the Fergus games, and they're standing there cheering. It's feel like they've adopted both of them as their own sons.
Right.
They're real close.
Great. Love to hear that.
Yeah, and it was fun to see them come through yesterday like they did with big plays.
Well, congratulations. Enjoy it today, but get back at it next week, and we'll see you on Friday.
Can't enjoy it too long, but we'll absorb all we can.
That's counting today, right?
Yeah. We've got to go down to Herman.
That's for John, by the way.
Okay.
All right. Coach Richard Risbrudt of the Hillcrest Lutheran Academy Comet football team. We'll take another break, come back, we'll wrap up some of the scores from the night of football across Minnesota. That's up in a couple of minutes.